Hello!
Hi everyone.
Today we're going to be on Samuel part 1. We'll start with Hannah. The story of Hannah.
Yeah.
So, there was a man called Elkanah, and he had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. And Peninnah had a lot of kids, while Hannah had no kids. She was barren. And one day, and they were going to the feast to one of the Lord's feasts in Shiloh, and that was where the tabernacle was, because they didn't have the temple until around Solomon's time.
Yeah.
So, they went, and then she just went to the tabernacle, and she was praying, and then the high priest Eli thought she was drunk and said, "Wine, get out." And then Hannah answered, "Sir, I'm not drunk. I was just praying to God for a son." And so Eli said, May the Lord bless you with a son." So then she about 1 year later, she had a son named Samuel, and
What is the meaning of Samuel?
Samuel, I think, means
Like Jehovah is Lord.
Jehovah is the Lord.
Yeah.
So here he was about 3 years. She dedicated him to the Lord and took him to the temple. And so there at the temple, he served the priest Eli, his sons Phineas and Hophni.
Yeah. Hophni and
Phineas.
They are PKs.
Yeah.
Like a pastor's kid, like priest kids.
Yeah. So they basically cheated in many other ways. You can see in the book of 1 Samuel.
Yeah, they even.
Okay. So here comes the book of Samuel. Started with a woman, Hannah. The story of a woman, Hannah. But in this book, we can see four great people. Who are they? The priest Eli,
Samuel, King Saul, and David.
So here we can see a priest, and here we can see a judge, Samuel, and here we can see the first king, Saul, and again the second king, that is the man after God's own heart. Okay.
King David.
So it is like when God wants to do something great, God uses a man to do it. But when God wants to do something extraordinary, great thing, He started with a woman. He used a woman. See, here start with Hannah. Okay, when David's story started with a woman called Ruth. Yeah, and when Jesus want to come to this earth, He started with a woman. Mary. Book of Luke started with a woman, Mary. Okay, and even God want to protect His people in their captivity. God started working with a woman called Esther. Okay, so when God wants to do something extraordinary thing, God uses woman. Okay, and we can see in the Bible there is great women, and these great women, what they had in common?
They had problems.
Great problems, right? See, you look into the life of great women in Bible, like Abraham's wife. Who was that?
Sarah.
She was barren, right? She was infertile. And when come to the wife of Isaac, who was that? Rebecca. No, she was also barren. And Jacob's wife, Rachel. She was barren. And
Zechariah's wife, Elizabeth, and
that is the mother of John the Baptist.
Yeah.
She was barren for a long time.
I think Boaz's wife,
Ruth. Yeah, she didn't have any child in her first husband, but later she had a child.
Who was Obed, the grandfather of David. And the father of Jesse.
Okay.
Who was the father of David.
All these great women in Bible, they had a great problem. If you are a child of God, you're going through great problem. Remember, God is about to do a great thing. God is about to use you for an extraordinary work. Amen. So, what is the second thing? Great women.
Plans.
They had a great plan. You know, here she went to the temple, she prayed, and she dedicated the child to God, God's service, or God's work. So great women, they had great plans.
Problems.
Great plans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And each year, every year, she used to go to the feast and prepare
a linen
coat, garment, and give to Samuel. Okay?
And
So great woman, they had great plan. One more thing, great woman, they had great priorities. Means most important thing. They keep the important thing first. Okay?
And then the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln.
No, here we can see that Hannah went to the temple and her rival Penina was taunting her. Like making fun of her, mocking
And
her.
mocking her.
Don't
So,
think about Toyota.
She didn't retaliate. She went to the temple of God and poured her heart to God. No? Pour her anguish and sorrow to God. Okay? So, great women, they had great priorities. They had great problems. They had great priorities. They had great plans. Okay? So, if you're a child of God, you know, if people are mocking you, taunting you, or making fun of you, don't retaliate. You know? Pour your heart to God. Pour your anguish and your sorrow in the presence of God. God will remember you. God will visit you. God will bless you. God will grant your desire. You know, when Hannah was praying, what Eli said?
Eli, he said, like, the wine go out. Wine go out.
Okay. Oh, he thought she was drunk.
Yeah.
But when she said, I'm not drunk, I'm just pouring my heart to God.
He said,
I'm a woman of anguish and sorrow.
he said, may the Lord give you a son.
May the God request your prayer and go in peace. You know, Hannah was a woman of prayer. But here you can see a priest, you know, and speaking a word and blessing her.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a child of God, you're going through a difficulty, go to the church of God. Let the man of God, let the prophet of God, let the pastor of God, you know, speak a word of blessing into your life. Now it will happen in your life. Now especially it is like a new year. Go to your church, receive the word of blessing from the man of God, from the prophet of God. Now that will happen in your life. You know, if it is like you are praying for a job, you are praying for a child, or you are praying for like with some disease, go to the temple of God, go to the church of God, let the man of God speak a word of blessing on you. That will happen. Okay? Here we can see that Eli, he pronounced a word, you know, and she received a child. And when she received a child, she dedicated the child to the work of God. Right? And God blessed her abundantly with 3 more boys and 2 girls. Okay? So whatever you have, dedicate for the work of God. Dedicate for the service of God. God will bless you exceedingly, abundantly, above all. Okay? May God bless you with this word. Can you please pray for them?
Lord, I thank you for this time, Lord, about Father, Lord. Lord, you'll help them, Lord. They'll pour out all their worries, all their pain, all their suffering to you, Lord. Lord, about Father, Lord, I pray you'll bless them during this New Year time, Lord. Lord, I pray you help them go through their hardships and their troubles, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name.